Hey guys, welcome back to this week's episode of Pretty Lonesome. This week, I have to give you a little bit of context because it is currently 1:04 in the morning and I am filming this podcast now. I've had a very strange and long day and I was meant to film this before, but I sat down to film my podcast and I realized I didn't have a microphone. So I apologize if the audio on this one is weird. I'm using some random microphone I got on Deliveroo. If you're American, that's basically DoorDash. So forgive me if it's weird. I just hope it's good. Part of the reason I'm up so late right now, and I can finally say this on the podcast because it means that my mum isn't going to find out before she's meant to find out because it's happening now. I have been for the last month or two secretly planning and orchestrating a massive surprise for my mum, which is my sister is coming home. My sister lives in New Zealand and we haven't seen her in a really long time. And I know my mum misses her a lot. And it is my mum's 26th birthday coming up in basically a week, just maybe 9 days, I think is her birthday. So I decided that I was going to bring my sister back from New Zealand to surprise my mum. And I've never orchestrated something like this before, but I have been biting my tongue so hard. So it's my mom's birthday in 9 days, right? And today she said to me, I just keep having to remind myself that, Jess isn't going to be here for my birthday. Jess is my sister. And I got so sad. And I was like, yeah, it sucks. Sucks. That's rough. I'm so excited because I can't tell if she knows. Also, I feel like my hair is genuinely giving ballet dance. I'm sorry. I decided to put my jacket on because I thought that it would make me less ballet dancer vibes, but it's actually made it worse. Okay, cool. So anyways, I guess we're going with the ballet vibe. So I kept having to be like, oh yeah, it's such a shame. She's not coming. Don't know what to say. She wasn't here last year on my mum's birthday. The thing about that, last year on my mum's birthday, she never mentioned, oh, I wish Jess was my birthday present this year. She never said that. So I'm like, you know something. I know you know something. I know you definitely know something's going on because there's no reason. I haven't slipped up. My sister hasn't slipped up. No one's told her anything. So I'm like, how do you know that my sister could be a birthday present for you? Regardless of the fact, I think she's getting suspicious, but here is my grand plan. And here's what I've been orchestrating tonight, hence why I'm up so late. I've also had a crazy busy day. But my plan is as follows. I will pick her up tomorrow morning from Heathrow Airport at 6 a.m. By the time you're watching this podcast, I will be by the time you guys see this podcast, because I'm literally filming it the day before, you will be seeing it as I'm picking my sister up, which is kind of fun. So if you're watching this right as it's been posted, just know that's what I'm doing. So I will be picking my sister up from the airport. And then I am going to drive us both back to my mum's house because I'm in London, but I'm going to drive all the way back to my mum's house. And I'm going to go in the house and be like, Mum, I forgot my camera. Can you please help me look for it? Something like that. I want my mother to notice exactly what I'm wearing and stay with me here, because it is not difficult for my mother to despair, to put it lightly, at the things that I put on my body. She just generally, almost, I would say 50% of the things I wear, she will be like, your face is so pretty. Why would you put that? Why would you put it with that outfit? You know what I mean? And hey, I understand. Okay, some of the things that I wear are atrocities. Some of the things I wear are questionable, but it works for me because I'm going to wear something that I know she will find directly offensive and will be like, why are you wearing this? And I think it's going to have to be a pink Oodie. That's what I'm coming up with in my head, because I just know she'll be like, really? And I'll be like, yes, it's fashion, mother. I'm going to wear something that she is going to notice and comment on. And then I'm going to make her look for my camera. I'm going to stress her out. Okay? I'm going to be like, go upstairs, look for my camera, please. Obviously, I'm not going to speak to my mother like that. At which point, I'm going to go check in my car. I'm just going to go make double sure it's not somewhere in my car. Then I'm going to go to the car. I'm going to swap outfits with my sister and then she's going to put her hood up and she is going to go back in the house, which I will have rigged with cameras. I will closely follow behind with my phone and film her. And then she's going to start talking to my mum as if she's me. Have you found it yet? And then slowly but surely, slowly, catchy monkey, my mother will turn around and realize, hey, that doesn't sound like Mads. It's the other one. And then it'll be my sister. We look very, very similar. And we both have brown hair, but she has short hair and she is taller than me. So we have to be careful. But I think it's a flawless plan. And I'm just so excited to see my sister. And usually when we greet my sister, when she does visit home, my mum always gets the first hug. And as she should, that's her baby. But I never get the first hug. And I always am like, I know you deserve that. I know that's your baby, but I want to hug her. And now I get her all to myself at the airport. And it's kind of making me sad because I know that once my mom stops crying about the fact that she's got her baby, she's going to be like, you didn't let me come to the airport with you. Like, I know for a fact my mom is going to be mad about the fact that she didn't get to greet her off the plane. But I don't care because I get to. So I think she's going to be happy with her surprise. She's going to see my sister on the 16th and her birthday's not till the 26th. So I think it's kind of like enough time in between now and her birthday that like, even if she suspects that I'm bringing my sister home, she wouldn't think it would be tomorrow because it's so kind of like soon. And like my sister wouldn't be able to like take that much time off work. And like she would expect my sister to stay like over her birthday and like a few days after. And it's like, I don't know. I just think like, I think we're in good timing. I think time is on our side. And then what neither of them know is that I have planned so much. Okay, not so much stuff, but I've planned 2 major activities. 3 actually major activities, but really just 2 exciting ones that we are going to do. And one is a surprise for my sister and one is a surprise for my mother and my sister. Neither of them know about either. So I am like literally rubbing my hands together with it. And I think that it's going to be so much fun. And unfortunately, I can't tell you what the activities that I've planned for them are because they will potentially watch this podcast. They probably won't, but God forbid they do. Don't watch it. But if they were to watch the podcast, then I would just ruin it. So we're not going to tell you guys, but you guys will see. I'll vlog everything, obviously. And I'm so excited because this time last year, I don't even remember what I got my mum for her birthday because I still just didn't like have very much money. And I remember that her like birthday day celebration was, we just went for like Italian food. And as lovely as that is, it is my greatest pleasure in life is to spoil my mum. I just always want to see my mum happy and relaxed. And I think that is most people's goal. Like, I think like you ask anyone who has like even a semi-decent relationship with their parents, like what is like a joy about being financially stable, and it is that they can, you know, help their parents, especially having like an older set of parents. Both my parents are in their 60s, so they were nearly 40 when they had me. So they are like older, and they're not old. I think 60, having older parents makes me realize like 60 is very, very young. And it honestly makes me feel a lot better about aging because I think otherwise I would think that that's old, and they're making me realize like, they're so young. But at the same time, like it kind of gives you a sense of like, I don't know what it is. It's like, I just want to see you happy and comfortable. Like, God, it sounds like I'm putting her in fucking like palliative care. Like, I want to see her happy and comfortable. She's only turning 63, but like, maybe I shouldn't put that on blast on the internet. No, she'd be okay with that, I think. But like, it's such a joy for me to be able to like do that. And I actually haven't got her a gift, which I'm really panicking about because I was so focused on bringing my sister home and organizing that and like thinking out how it was going to go in my head and stuff and making sure that it was perfect that I forgot she needs other presents. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that one, but I'm going to have to go shopping. But it's just like, it's genuinely like such a privilege to be able to just like give my loved ones like nice special days, you know what I mean? Like experiences, and to treat them. That's really all I've ever wanted to do. So, you know, right now, I am staying at my friend's flat because she's away and I'm cat sitting for her. Well, really and truly, the cat is sitting me because I'm literally just here because like I really needed a place to stay, and she was also taking a trip and her cat also lives here. I am making it sound like I'm selflessly cat sitting. I'm actually freeloading. That's what I'm doing. And the cat's here. So, but I've been staying here and it is so fun. And I think I've realized that I'm a cat person because her cat is like emotionally unavailable. Like actually like it doesn't want to be touched. It doesn't want to be held. It doesn't want to be anything. And it's also just a weird cat, right? She bought this cat beds, like mini beds, like cat beds and cat toys. And he will find a bag crunched up in the corner of the room and he'll sleep on it. But since I've been, and me and him have had a tense relationship, not tense bad, but tense like I'm used to my dog who will literally put her tongue in my eyeball and that's my baby. Like she's such a big personality that I genuinely think she's my 3-year-old child. And then to come in and see a cat that like does not fuck with anyone, I'm like, I don't know, I feel tension. And ever since my friend left and it's just been me and the cat, he greets me when I get home and he follows my heel. Like he walks into the bathroom with me, he walks into the kitchen with me, he rubs up against me, he puts his head in my hand and he asks to be stroked. If he wants me to stroke him, he like taps me like this, like, come on, like, I'm right fucking here. And he is such good company. And I'm like, I don't, maybe he misses his mummy and he's like looking for a little bit of extra love, but I think we're bonding. So I'm very happy about it. He's so cute and it's making me think I might be a cat person because he's also just like a very calming presence. Like it's very hard to be like wound up when there's a cat poking you know what I mean? Anyways, yesterday I had kind of a crazy experience. There's this like Chanel perfume section in Harrods and you can go in and you can get like a consultation basically where the guy who's like a perfume expert, he will ask you all about like your favorite smells and like childhood memories that you like and just like a bunch of stuff. And then he'll match you with like a perfume basically. And I had made an appointment and I wanted to go. And I went and he was like he was like, do you like amber, woody, vanilla? Do you like, spicy? Do you like smoky? And I was like, with so much love, I do not know what the fuck you are saying to me right now. Perfume is the furthest thing from my realm of knowledge. I would genuinely rather smell like nothing than smell like cheap perfume. Sorry, I said it. I don't care. I will stand on that. I would rather smell like nothing than smell cheap. Because why would I wear that on my neck? Like, I just would rather not smell. And also, like, cheap perfumes all smell the same to me. And I've never understood when people are like, oh, perfume has a top note and middle layer and a bottom layer. I'm like, no, it doesn't. It smells like a rose and perfume. Like, perfume smells like perfume and then like a flower. But there's a perfume smell. You know what I mean? It's like unpleasant. And so I just don't really wear perfume. I wear one by Diptyque and it's like a very like clean smell. That's the only thing I really wear because I've never found a perfume that I like. And it's such a big world to me. And sniffing perfumes is such a grueling task. And I can never smell them because I'm always in a department store and then there's all the smells of the other perfumes. It's just so confusing. So I just haven't explored perfumes. I just don't really have a smell. So I went to this appointment and he basically was asking me for like a fond childhood memory. And I was like, I can't think of a single one. And then I remembered one and I was like, I used to love washing up dishes with my mum because I loved the way that the bubbles smelled. But obviously I was like a nuisance to my mum. So as I was like 3 years old, so she would give me my own little bucket and like put dishes in there like for me to like fake clean. And I remember just doing it and sniffing it. And I described that smell to him and he brought out this perfume. By the way, it's not brand deal. I'm just genuinely hyping this up. This is the 1957 by Chanel. I understand what they mean when they say top note and like middle note, whatever, because somehow I'm smelling two things at once in one thing. Like, okay, it smells like soap and like bubbles and like cleanliness and like something so pure. And then there's also a flower in there. And then there's also something that makes it have like again, not using the correct terminology, but like a low note. Like I think of perfumes as being like high pitch or low pitch and has like something a bit more low pitch. So it's not just like too like up your nose. Oh, fuck me. It's very sexy. And then they gave me this one as well, which is like a more feminine, sexy smell. But I really struggle to find a feminine perfume that is not old ladylike and not too immature. Because I feel like a lot of like girl perfume, like roses and flowers and stuff, just reminds me of how I smelt when I was 15 and I was like wearing Hollister spray and the changing rooms at school reeked of it. And it's like, it's either to that extreme or, well, it's to that extreme. Well, like, it's just the smell of a rose. Like that's it. And so I always stay away from like very feminine perfumes. I usually go for something like gender neutral or even just like masculine. I love the way boys smell. Like I am so I get Pavloved all the time. All the time. Like, if you smell good and I can actually still acknowledge, this man is bad. Like, this man just kicked me to the floor and then stole all my money but he smells so woody. No, I guess I'll still give him my phone number then. It just gets me. Like, it smells are I will fall for it every time. So I usually just go for like a masculine smell because I smell it on these boys and I'm like, I want to smell like that. So then I buy whatever it is. Although I never do because I never ask what it is. But ideally I would in a good world where I bothered follow up with things, I would find out what perfume the sexy men wear and I'd buy it, but I just don't. So then I don't wear any perfume. But then I found this, and it's like, I probably should be able to tell you guys what's in this and what it's meant to smell like, so that if you're a perfume connoisseur, then you would know what I'm talking about. But whatever. It smells good. That's what you need to know. And when I walked out of the Chanel appointment, there was like a million security guards. And I was like, whoa, who's in the room next to me? And from my understanding, it was a prince. Just don't know which one. But it was a prince, which is really cool. And then, you know what I want to do? I want to get in front of royalty. I just think if I could just get in front of one of them, be it a prince, a princess, a king, a queen, or whatever the other ones are called, I just think if you let me do it and I ask for money, hypothetically, I get in front of royalty and I say, would you please give me £1 million? Why would they say no? Would they say no? Like, this is always my query. And there was this girl do you guys remember when the interviewer girl, I think her name is Bobby, and she was with Drake, I feel like, and she was like, would you give me $1 million? And he was like, no. Why not? Okay. I get why she asked him that, because it is a rare opportunity that you're sat in front of someone who is genuinely just fuck you rich. You could give me $1 million or pounds if you're feeling generous, and it wouldn't affect you. Like, you genuinely wouldn't mind to lose that money. Like, it wouldn't affect you in any way. Why won't you then? Okay, if I have managed to get in front of you, I've grinded to the point where I'm in front of you, a prince or a very, very rich man of another origin, and I then have the nerve to ask you for $1 million. Why not? Genuinely, what is the reason for that? What is the reason for that? Because, and if not, why not? I think it's completely reasonable to ask rich people to just give you money for free. I think that that's the way to go. I do. I think that when you are in front of an absurdly rich person and have no interest in pursuing an onwards relationship with them, why would you not ask for money? I would say, please. And I would say it a few times. I just want to know what they would say, you know? Because imagine they said yes. And I'm like, oh shit, okay, cool. And by the way, when I say rich, I do mean like borderlining billionaire rich, because someone with £50 million sitting in their bank account is never going to give you £1 million. I mean, corrupt man. I mean, man who could never have made that money in an ethical manner. I mean, not any form of like artist or public person. I mean, like secret billionaire who wears Birkenstocks and corduroy jeans. And you know what? I just generally have questions for absurdly rich people, and I have many of them. It's not that I just want to know. I just want to know, in the interest of just intelligence gathering for my own enjoyment. Do you guys want to know something crazy? I need to know which influencers I need to beat this week, because tell me why I had ordered a masseuse to come to my house and give me a massage. There's this app in London, it's called Urban, and you just basically order them to your house instead of like going to a salon. So this guy comes over, he's giving me a massage and we're talking. And he was like, what do you do for work? And I was like, I do like social media. And he was like, oh, cool. I massaged. First he said, that must be like good money. And I was like, yeah, like it's pretty good money. And then he was like, yeah, I massaged this one guy and he had told me that he did like YouTube and TikTok. And so I said again, like, oh, like, does it pay well? And the guy he had been massaging had said like, yeah, it pays really well. And then had said, I wouldn't get out of bed for £2,000. And the masseuse was like, if someone offered me £2,000, like I would work all night. Like I would run a marathon. I would do anything for £2,000. And I was like, how sick of a person do you have to be? Whoever you were. He was a boy, apparently. How sick of a person do you have to be to tell a service provider, whilst they are rubbing your fucking back for like £60 an hour, that you wouldn't get off your ass for £2,000? That feeds a family for weeks, by the way, if you forgot that piece of information. How genuinely deranged and lost do you have to be to tell someone, as they are manually putting in muscle effort whilst you lay on your front with your ass to the sky, whilst they put in effort and they are straining their back, they are hunched over, they are probably uncomfortable, their back probably hurts, their thumbs are probably tired, they probably worked a whole nother job that same day. And you want to tell them, whilst they continue to rub your back, that you personally just wouldn't get out of bed for $2,000. I was so embarrassed for him. Like, I genuinely was so shocked that anyone would have the lack of conscience to say that to another person, let alone someone who is rubbing their back. And mind you, it was probably a full body, but he probably rubbed his feet too. Just genuinely, what kind of person do you have to be to say that to someone else? It was like my jaw was on the floor when he said that. It really upset me for him. Like, I was like, fucking hell. And the guy who was massaging me, he was telling me like that he has his own practice and that he works in that most of the time, and doing like at-home massages is like his like side hustle, and he only does it like at night. It's like just like an extra thing. And he was just genuinely the sweetest man. Like, he was so nice. And we actually had a really good conversation, because he was like, do you normally talk during massages? And I was like, no. And he was like, yeah, me neither. And then we continued having a conversation. I was like, okay, cool. And he was like, yeah, I'm like really shy. I was like, no, like me too. It's okay. And I genuinely felt like we bonded. I felt like we had bonded. In other news, I don't think I told you guys, but I stopped taking my birth control, and I've been on my birth control since I was 15 years old. And I never really came off it. I came off it like once just to see what would happen, and nothing good happened. I fucking broke out in horrible acne. So I went back on it. But that was when I was like 18. So I figure like maybe my body's grown up a little bit since then. Maybe I can come off of it now, because I had acne on it anyway. Like, I started having acne even when I was on birth control, which is the whole reason I went on birth control. So I was like, okay, there's no fucking point. So I came off my birth control, and spontaneously within the same week decided to explore ADHD medication. And I don't know if it's the mixture of changes in my body, but I'm on one. Like, I'm like a teenage boy. Like, everything is right now very weird within my body. I'm like, I usually don't feel these things, these feelings, these ways, but now I do. And it's really funny. But at the same time, kind of concerning. And I'm going to be very candid right now, which usually I wouldn't share like a concern until it's like resolved, because I don't want anyone to like think something's wrong. But I don't think I actually have a period. I don't know where it is. It's not here, and I'm not pregnant, so don't even start on me. But it's like, I don't know if it's stress. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna have to get that checked on, which is so fun. I do have PCOS, so maybe it's just like being like very irregular, and like I don't know what my body's natural rhythm is. Like, I don't know if I'm someone who gets a period every month. I don't know if isn't that crazy? I don't even know if my periods are regular, because when I was 15, I got my period when I was 14, and literally 3 weeks later was at the doctor's begging for help, because my periods were horrendous from the get-go. I had basically a period every other week, and they were excruciating, and they were 8 days long. Sorry, TMI, but like they were 8 days long, and they were so fucking heavy, and it was just a terrible time. And I broke out in like horrible acne, and I was just like a raging bitch all the time. So I went to the doctor, and I was like, can you please put me on birth control, because I genuinely can't deal with 2 periods a month, and I am covered in spots. And they were like, hello, 15-year-old girl who's struggling with like strange symptoms around her period. Here's medication for you, and take this for the next 10 years of your life, and never inquire further into why your body has this pattern. It took me until 5 years later to finally go to a doctor about my period pain, because even on the pill, I was just like written off every month. So I finally went to the doctor. They diagnosed me with PCOS, which is polycystic ovary syndrome, which basically is just like pain. And excess testosterone, which can also like lead to like acne and stuff like that. But because the doctor kind of just put me on this pill, I never got to learn like the real cycle of my body. Like, I don't know if I get periods once a month, twice a month, fucking 3 times a month. I don't know if I get periods every 3 months. Like, I genuinely don't know. And I don't even know what a regular flow is for me because I've been on the pill and that's not a real period. It's a withdrawal bleed. It's different. So I came off it, like I said, I came off it once when I was 19 or like 18, and it was just like a fucking terrible experience. So I just went straight back on. I've never changed the pill that I'm on. I've been on the same exact one this entire time. And it just took me this long to be like, I feel like this is poisonous for my body. And there's other ways to cure acne. And there's also other ways to treat pain rather than like taking synthetic hormones every day of my life. So I was like, okay, I'm going to take a much needed break from the pill. Maybe I'll go back on it. I don't know. It is handy for contraceptive, but like I'll be so real with you guys, there is no need for me to be on a contraceptive for that purpose. Like I really I do not have the level of game required. It's not a prevalent issue in my life, especially not anymore. So I was just like, what is the fucking point in me being on this pill? And it kind of made me annoyed because I was like, why actually deep it for 1 second? Why did my doctor not actually give me any information on what this pill is? And obviously doctors, like, it's a known thing. Like, they don't really give a fuck about period pain. Like, it's just like a very neglected thing. Like, you could be in there with like a massive cyst and they'll be like, it's probably just a cramp. You're probably just being dramatic. And you have to be like, yeah, you're right. You're probably right. You know what I really want to do is, have you guys seen on TikTok, they have those like period simulator pain things that they strap on and they like go find men in like shopping malls and they like, would you like to try having period cramps? And then the men get to like number 3 level pain and they're like in agony. Well, as a woman who persistently invalidates her own experiences, I need to locate one of those machines because I need to know if I would also suffer on level 3 of the pain scale. Because am I a wuss? Or would I get to level 7 and be like, yes, this is how my cramps feel. Okay, I'm validated. This is a high level of pain. Other people would agree. And now I can actually go get a fucking doctor's appointment. Because how do I know that my level of pain is not normal? You know? Because you're told, oh, it's meant to be painful. Yes, you're literally having contractions. Like, of course it's painful and it's gory and it's gross. You shouldn't talk about it. I just feel like I would genuinely benefit from using one of those machines. Like, I'm so jealous. Why do you keep giving that machine to men? Give it to women. Give it to women. Women need to know where they rank on the pain scale of a period simulator test, okay? I know every woman in the world is curious about this. Okay? It's the same thing as I once saw a TikTok and it was this girl being like, living every woman's dream right now. And what she was doing, she was getting a fucking full body MRI scan. My dream. And by the way, you can get those. You just have to pay. I never occurred to me that on private like healthcare, you can literally just pay. But like the reassurance of like actually knowing, like, yes, we've checked your entire body for illness and you are healthy. Oh my God. I mean, the way I would celebrate that news, I would genuinely go skydiving, I think. I'm actually not gonna lie, if we lived in an ideal world, everyone would just get that once a month because when you actually think about it, why would you not get regular full body checks to check for something unpleasant? Like that just seems really obvious to me. Obviously, I know all the reasons it's not, but it's just like you'd think, right? I always think about the fact that if there was an apocalypse tomorrow, okay, and everyone died except me and my friend, for example, we somehow survived. And now we're the only 2 people left on Earth or in London, and we don't know where the other people are. It's just us, and we're struggling, you know? It's hard. My back would ache, inevitably at some point. And in that situation, I think what I would have to devise with my friend is an agreement that we massage each other once a week. And it's not a massage where you say, can you please rub my shoulder? And then your friend rubs your shoulder for like 3 seconds like this, and then they're out. No. The thing that's nice about getting a professional massage is you know they can't stop. Okay, they're not going to start complaining and fucking stop rubbing you, so you can actually relax into it. The second that the second one of my friends starts like rubbing my arm or like massaging my back, the only thing I'm thinking about is, please don't stop, please don't stop. Like, I just want you to keep rubbing my back. And I'm like, just worried about the fact that you're going to stop soon. In the event of an apocalypse, I would have to devise a kind of plan with my friend that I'm stuck with, that we just give each other 1 hour timed professional level massages once a week because no one else is ever going to do that for us because obviously the world ended. I was talking to my sister about what would happen if the world ended, and I got really excited for the world to end because I said that, obviously this is assuming that me and her both survived, but we're the only survivors, okay? What would happen if the world ended and I got stuck with you? Well, genuinely exciting because the world is now my oyster, okay? First thing I would do is I would break into all of the houses in my village and I would find ones with big industrial freezers. This is assuming the electricity stays on, okay? Find one with big freezers. Then I would go to all the supermarkets and I would find all the frozen food and I would take it and I would put it in all of the freezers. Then I'm going straight to the local farm and I am taking a horse. Scrap that. The first thing I'm doing, I'm going and I'm getting a horse. Really and truly, I am a horse girl deeply in my heart. All I really ever want to be doing at any given point in time is be on a horse. I'm so fucking jealous of people that get to ride frequently. And the first thing I would do in the apocalypse is I would think, oh my God, no one is going to yell at me if I take their horse. So I would go and I would take a horse and I'd get its little saddle and I would ride it. And then I would ride it to the grocery store. I'd get the frozen food, I'd get the medication, I'd put it in my houses. Then I'm breaking into Buckingham Palace because I am so curious about what they keep in there. I was driving past it literally like yesterday, I think. And I was just looking at it and I was like, that is actually someone's house, I think. I'm actually not sure. I think they live there sometimes. Apparently they do guided tours like once a year or something like that. I need someone to get me on a guided tour of Buckingham Palace. You know what's one of my bad traits? If I wasn't a little bit more like self-restrained and opinionated, I would fixate on the royal family. It's not that I like them as people. I'm just so fucking intrigued by them because they're genuinely different. They're literally the only people I can think of that actually live in they're on Earth, but they might as well not be. They're so different. And I don't know what it is that intrigues me so deeply about the fucking royal family, but I'm like, I don't really care about like royal family conspiracies or like royal family news. Like, no, I'm not invested like that. There's just something so otherworldly about them to me that I'm like, I just need to know what the fuck goes on behind those walls. And like, do the mum and dad discipline the kids? Do you think? Like, does the butler do it? Do they have a butler? Like, what's the dynamic? Also, my biggest question, I think, for the royal family in general is how do you keep the kids away from the windows? Because if I was a 5-year-old and you put a crowd of people outside my family's house, it just wouldn't end well. You wouldn't be able to stop me. I'm so sorry. I would find a way to that fucking window. You could put double steel enforced doors. You could put galvanized steel in front of that fucking window. I will get to the window and I will pull down my fucking pants. I just would. I really would. And it astonishes me that there's not more major mishaps like that because quite like to put it so simply, and I'll give it to you. I was not raised by royalty, so maybe it's, that's the difference. But if you gave me the power of being in front of paparazzi at 6 years old, I just don't know how there's not more big accidents. I'm like, genuinely, what are you telling the children behind? I've seen the kids throw a few tantrums here and there. And I think that people find it kind of cute because it's like, oh my God, you're like real. Like you actually are a child. Like you literally just threw a tantrum and made the king pick you up off the floor. That's so funny. But I don't know. I just want to know. And I reckon if I asked them, they would give me £1 million. So I will go on the guided tour. I will find a way. And then I'll sneak away. I'll get away from the tour group and I'll find one of them. Also, just like at what age does it get explained to them? Like, is it from when they start learning to talk that they're told, like, you're royal? Like, at what point do you tell a toddler that granddad is the king of England? Like, at what point does it start to add up to them that not every, and I just wish one of them would start a podcast, because could you imagine a princess being like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, had no fucking idea that I was the only one where there was people outside my house every single day, and I used to beg to like ride my bike in the front garden, but like my mum wouldn't let me, and like she used to tell me that like if I went out there by myself, all the people at the gates would like break in and like, I don't know, kidnap me. Like I just know there's stories, like how do you scare a toddler into not genuinely acting out in front of thousands of people? Because to make a public appearance with a toddler is brave for anyone. Okay. It's literally brave for anyone to like, how do they do it? Probably in ways that are objectively unethical, but I don't want them to sue me, so I also wonder what Christmas Day looks like in their household. Sorry, I will stop talking about the royal family. It's like, I just wonder what the fuck does their Christmas tree look like, first and foremost. Secondly, how many presents do you think, on average, each child gets for Christmas? And also, do you think that they get them like designer clothing? Like, what the fuck do you genuinely, sorry, I keep swearing. What do you get a royal princess child? Also, must be so crazy to be the person who marries into the family. And obviously, like anyone who marries into the royal family typically comes from a wealthy background themselves, or like an elevated position in some form. But none of them were raised to be the princess of England. Like, they can't relate to their own child because that's actually shoes they could never have been in. So like, what do you buy a kid like that? Like, I wonder, do they have toys? Do they want clothes? I need answers to all of these questions, and I need them rather promptly. Like, I just think back to the way that I like let my mouth just run as a child, and I just wonder, like, they might just be numb to their superiority because like they're just genuinely used to it. Also, obviously, like they're around a bunch of other rich kids at school and stuff. Like, I'll give you an example. When I was about 7 years old, my parents split up, and my dad moved out of our family home. And I love my dad, by the way, it's no shade, but at the time, he moved in to what was essentially an attic. I mean, it wasn't essentially an attic. It was an attic, and he lived in an attic, and it was a rented room above a very rich man's house. And I don't know why this rich man was compelled to rent his attic to a man in his 40s. Maybe he wanted company. I don't know. He had a wife. It was a huge house. Huge. I think it was called like a manor house. And they had a swimming pool. They had like fields, gardens, cows, everything. My dad lived in the attic. Okay. That was his house. Now me, I obviously went to school and told everyone, guess what? My dad lives in a mansion. Again, like I said, not inherently untrue. Like, it was a huge house, and technically he did live within the house. It just, he personally, lived in an attic. And everyone was like, no, he doesn't. Shut the fuck up. And I died on that hill. I was like, no, he literally does. And actually, it's kind of sad because at the time I was getting bullied and I didn't have very many friends. And there was this one girl, she fucking hated me. And I remember this was at lunchtime. We were outside playing, and for whatever reason, I was talking to her and I told her, my dad does live in a manor. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Again, I don't know what mission I was on. Like, I don't know why I was even in this girl's presence, given the fact that it was lunchtime and we never hung out. Like, we weren't like frenemies. Like, she just blatantly did not like me. And I didn't like her, but she was popular and I wasn't. So feels like an unfair fight, but whatever. I remember having my back against the wall because she had like backed me into a literal physical corner, and her being like, just admit that your dad doesn't live in a mansion, and back to the wall. No more space between me and this girl. I said, yes, he does. And in my mind, I was not lying. Okay. I was just innocently misinformed, we'll say. But it's inherently not untrue. It just was inaccurate. You know what I mean? So whatever. But she did not want to hear that my dad lived in a mansion. But that was the bullshit that I was on at 7 years old, with just one sliver of what I perceived as being, it, for lack of better words, better than everyone else. I was like, yes, finally, this will make everyone at school like me. Actually, to make this story sadder, I must have been only 6 years old when this happened, because I actually ended up moving schools because this bitch was so fucking mean to me that I left the school entirely. But I would have still been 6 when this happened, because now I'm like putting the timeline together. Okay, well, I guess I can't really hold that against her because she was also 6, but like, whatever. I'm still gonna hold it against her. But that's how I behaved when I perceived myself to be in an elevated position. And I just can't imagine a 7-year-old. All 7-year-olds are the fucking same. It doesn't matter what you do to a 7-year-old. It's gonna be a 7-year-old. Sometimes I wonder though, like, do they know that they are different? Like, do they know that they are like some of the most famous people in the entire world, technically? Or are they just around like so many other rich kids that it kind of like, it's like, no, everyone has like a fucking massive house and is like the same as me almost, like, because I feel like as a kid, your pointers of wealth are wrong. Like for me, what made someone rich as a kid was just like very obscure. And for me, the line was pretty much drawn at if you had a mother who had a baby and she had the pram for the baby, and at the bottom of the pram was one of those fucking skateboards, and you got pushed to school on your skateboard. You had genuinely won the lottery to me. Ugh. Look, but like my point of you have money was just like so strange. Me and Boba have to go to bed. I'm not gonna lie, sitting here at 2 in the morning and ranting and rambling about the royal children is not a good look for me. And I need to shut the fuck up. By the time you guys see this video, I will be picking my sister up at the airport, ready to surprise my mother. So I will be posting that. I'm so tired. I have a 9 a.m. call time for something tomorrow, and it's time for bed. Oh God. The cat just sat in my fucking lap. You don't know how big of an achievement this is in the world of Boba. This is genuinely huge. Trying to get a picture for his mother so she can see that we're bonding. Okay. Good night. Love you guys so much. Me and Boba are gonna go have cuddles, I think. Oh my God, I'm fucking obsessed with this cat. Okay, right. Love you guys. I'm going to bed. Good night.